What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Everybody, keep Aisha Robinson in your thoughts and prayers. She lost her cousin to gun violence. And keep my man D2 Stu, who's in the hospital waiting on some test results that he probably won't get until about the middle of the week or so. He's on pins and needles and so on, and we're wishing him a speedy recovery. I've done my Monday night live stream. I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I can't wait for the draft to actually get here. This is the time that we're all hopeful, you know. Last year we didn't know what we got. The funny thing is, with the draft, you don't know. You think about what the experts have to say, where they tell you that this guy is going to be a stud, a can't-miss player. When they say that they are a can't-miss player, that all of a sudden puts up my red flag and say, okay. Somebody was talking about Mel Kiper was saying that somebody was going to be can't-miss player this year. And I was thinking, how about Josh Rosen? Because I remember you saying that Josh Rosen was going to be a can't-miss player. Yeah. I remember you guys saying that after the draft, and this is what you don't know. We have no clue what's going to happen. The teams go through, they do their homework, their paperwork, they try and figure everything that they can about the players and stuff, and the reality is they're going to miss on half the players. It's just too many variables. Looking back, Russell Wilson, they talked about him and they said basically if you need a backup quarterback for a couple of games, he might do. In fact, the draft that they drafted Russell Wilson along with, I believe, 3 of the key components of their Super Bowl winning team, they gave him a C-. The next year, where they got, I think, another 3 of their integral parts of the Legion of Boom, they talked about that being a C- draft. And yet, that was the team that took Seattle to win their first and only Super Bowl title. You don't know what you don't know. We can all think that we've got studs and so on. I mean, how many people thought that Micah Parsons was going to be the guy that we got? I remember them saying, oh, Micah Parsons, you know, there's the hazing incidents in college and his character is questionable and blah, 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 blah. And everybody was saying the Cowboys should have gotten a cornerback, should have gotten, you know, this guy and that guy and so on. And it turns out the Cowboys were right to get Micah Parsons. Turns out that was the steal of the draft. And the fact that the Cowboys moved back and picked up Goldston with an extra pick to get the defensive unanimous rookie of the year is freaking insane. Nobody saw that coming, because if they did, they would have drafted him number 1. They would have drafted him number 1. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the draft is always littered with guys that nobody thought were going to be decent players that become great ones, or players that people thought were automatically going to be a day one plug-in guy that end up being busts. Charles Haley said, and at this point, Charles has been 100% right, that Jerry Jones built a house for losers. Losers! I'm hoping at some point we can say that, you know what, Charles? You're wrong. The Dallas Cowboys AT&T Stadium is no longer a house for losers. That we can eventually see them hold up that Lombardi trophy one more time. Now, the thing that's funny to me, and again, I think a lot of our issues go back to the top on down and some of the mentality that we have with guys that think that they know everything about football and they really don't. Things that bother me about the Cowboys is when you hear Stephen Jones, and maybe he's just trying to spin it and trying to make himself not look bad as he has actually been this offseason. But when you say that Dorrance Armstrong is right there with Randy Gregory, you're showing your football ignorance. The thing that kills me about the Cowboys more than anything else is, instead of we need a guard, we draft a tackle, we make him a guard. You could look at Lyle Collins, that they stunted his growth going from guard to tackle. He played good at both of them, but you kind of made him have to learn something new. In the NFL, you don't necessarily have time to learn something new. And the mentality has always been with the line. They always look and say, if you're an offensive tackle, you're an offensive lineman. You can play guard. If you need a guard, go out and get a guard. They look at an edge rusher and say, well, an edge rusher, like Tyrone Crawford, well, he can be a three technique. It's a tackle. No big deal. You play the line. It's no big deal. Anybody who has no skills can play the line. And that's just not true. That goes back to Stephen Jones's football IQ. You know, you sit here and you listen to the New York Giants that are fire sailing their wide receivers. And if you made an offer for more than a ham sandwich, you could probably get Barkley. The problem is not the quarterback. The problem is not necessarily the wide receivers. I'm not going to say that they're Tyreek Hill and so on, or Henry. The problem for the Giants is, and the same problem they had in Eli's last years. They've had great receivers when they had Odell and Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard. The problem is the offensive line. The offensive line is not opening up holes for the running back. Because Barkley is getting that crap kicked out of him in the backfield, he's more susceptible to injuries. Because Daniel Jones has to run for his life and is getting hit by defensive linemen, means he's getting nicked up and beat up. And because he's running for his life, he doesn't have time to get the receivers. Instead of them dealing with the actual problem, which is their line, they're saying, we got to go out and get more receivers. We got to go out and get another running back. We might need another quarterback. And that's the problem for the Cowboys. When the Cowboys start hearing rumors about them trading up for an edge rusher does not fix our problem. Your football IQ will tell you, when you look at the statistics and understand when we lose in the playoffs, it's because we can't stop the run. An edge rusher gets to the quarterback's ass. An edge rusher, as soon as the ball is snapped, is getting upfield. He is not the guy that's in the middle stopping the run. And if you take an edge rusher, typically they're a longer length, lighter in the ass guy that is fast, which works great on the edge, but unfortunately, it doesn't hold up stopping the run. You can look and say, I need new cornerbacks. You can look and say, I need new edge rushers. You can look and say, I need new linebackers. But if you don't take care of the core issue, and this is where football IQ comes in, that is the issue. It's not rocket science. The Cowboys lost to the 49ers because of two things. They couldn't run the football at all, and they couldn't stop the run. And the two things that you can do easily, that you can get the highest prospects, will be interior offensive linemen and interior defensive linemen, both of which you can get at 24. Or maybe even move back and get both of them. But lack of football IQ will continue to build that house for losers, and it'll have them by getting an edge rusher or getting a wide receiver with that first pick. So, who knows what'll happen? We'll have to wait and see come Thursday night. We'll be here. We'll be live streaming the whole time. We will be here. You can be here because we'll have the Zoom link for any channel members that can be part of the show. We'll have the we'll have the Philly Meltdown Special Cam checking in on Philly 500 in Rio. Cop Pizzle says he's not doing it. And we'll see if the Cowboys can get a Micah Parsons again. We can only hope. As always, I appreciate all of you great people out there. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the thumbs up, the follow, and definitely the channel members. And with that being said, I get on the road tomorrow. I got to get that house together. So people need a great place to move into, and I've got to get it done. Whew. God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And make sure you tell somebody you love tonight that you love them, because you might not get the chance again. Peace.